Hello, my name is Barbara Zyk, and I'm Employer Branding Stars podcast. This episode is very special, because we have Portugal on air, and we've got two wonderful people from Portuguese market doing a lot of great job to promote employer branding there. And I know whoever is from Portugal, at least you probably know Eduardo and Mikel, but I'm really happy to host both of you. But today we're going to go and let Mikel being my co-host, which I'm very happy to have you as in this role. That's my first co-hosting episode ever. So fingers crossed for us. So thanks to Mikel, we've got another great story from Portugal, and as our guest today we've got Eduardo. He's going to speak for himself in a minute, but I'm really happy to have such a strong representation of employer branding in Portuguese market. So hello to you, happy to have you, and I cannot wait to see great stories from your region. I know you're doing great job there, so yeah. So maybe first, maybe just a few words from Mikael first, and then we just
Perfect,
go
Barbara.
to Eduardo.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much, Barbara. For me, it's truly a pleasure. As you know, for several years now, one of my main goals is exactly this. It's to give the stage to Portuguese employer branding persons, people that are working in the employer branding area, and to give visibility to the projects that we are doing here in Portugal. And it's a huge pleasure to have Eduardo here today with us because we have lots of conversations along the years. So I think it's truly great because there's not that many people that are willing to give up their time, and Eduardo has this specificity in his profile because not only he works in the area, but he also tries to share his knowledge, and he's a wonderful teacher also in the employer branding area. So for me, it's a huge pleasure, obviously, to have Eduardo here with us today. So thank you once again, Eduardo, and thank you, Barbara.
Thank you. This introduction was perfect, of course, at least in my vision. And thank you for the invitation. It's also a pleasure to be here and discuss this subject that we all love and work and share knowledge, as Miguel was saying. And starting by presenting myself. So I work at Clan, which is an HR
And
company.
he's out.
I'm back.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Start.
I think there was a sign
an
saying that
internet. Yeah.
the connection was lost. I don't know why. But I work as a marketing and communications director at Clan. Clan was formerly known as Multipessoal. It's an HR Portuguese firm that has been in the market for more than 30 years. So everyone that works in Portugal with HR probably knows our company. And being a marketing professional in an HR company made me realize the importance of employer branding, and that's how it started. That's how my journey in this subject started. Because I'm not an HR professional,
Mhm.
and mostly all the professionals that end up working in employer branding, they are mostly from HR. And
Here,
I'm a
here in Portugal, Eduardo. Yes.
at least in Portugal.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I'm a bit of an outlier who understands how marketing can help HR in this process and how marketing tools can be a huge benefit to attract talent and also to make sure that the talent that is already in the company doesn't go to other competitors, to other company. So nurturing talent is also one of the goals, of course, of employer branding. And that's it. That's how I end up here in this conversation with you. And thank you once again for this opportunity.
Eduardo, just share a little insight. You know, I started my work life at Multipessoal. So this is
It
also
was your first job, right?
my first job. Yeah,
Wow.
it was my internship, but it's completely crazy because at the time Eduardo was not there, and I spent 1 year and a half after I ended my university working as a recruiter at Multipessoal. And at the time, we need to go back a long time because at the time there was no digital
So
application, so
job
people,
portals.
yeah, people would go
Right.
there physically to the company, and they would or give us the CV, or we had the computer there where they
Yeah.
filled the application in a very large computer at the time. So it's very interesting to see, and this is one of the things that I'm most passionate about. The case of Eduardo is to see how the company evolved. I'm not I will not say that, for instance, the change from Multipessoal to Clan, it has impacted me because I was someone that grew with that brand, and the change, obviously, I know it's for the better, and Clan is mostly about the transformation from uh, physical to digital. It's mostly a digital
Yes.
brand
Yes.
and positioning. But Eduardo, I don't know if you want to start here and the journey that the company has had
Yes.
over the 30 years that it's been working.
Yes, I can start from there. So, Multipsol was born in 1993, so I was 1 year old by that time. So I don't know the details of the beginning of the story. So I can share with you the last 6 years because I've been here for 6 years, and it's been quite a journey of transformation, as Miguel was saying. And I would say this rebranding, this renaming was the end or the middle of this transformation. So we started doing other things first. We had one goal, which was not doing a radical transformation, but doing it gradually, because we know that change management is a challenge, and we need to have all employees on board. And the transformations involve not only employees but also candidates, in our case clients,
Mhm.
suppliers. So in 2019 we started a new strategy for the company with a strong focus on technology, on processes, but also on people. So we are talking about having a new ATS, about having a new website, having new ways of promoting our job offers. And all this started mostly in the digital way. Okay, so this was our main focus. Today, we still receive applications offline because um, we have shops even in the streets. You go and you just deliver your CV. That's something we try to avoid, physical CVs, because we want the CVs to be in our database, to have candidates available to our recruiters in the ATS. But it's still possible, and we believe that all channels must remain available, because we can choose for the candidate what's the best channel for him or for her. So we have to maintain everything available, but of course our focus is the digital way. And we started this process. First, we changed the branding of Multipessoal, because we had several brands, we had several websites. I don't know if Miguel
Yeah.
remembers that, but we had 6 brands under the umbrella of Multipessoal.
Wow.
And our first change was thinking, okay, if we all do the same, which is attract talent and guarantee that this talent is located in our clients, why don't we work in the same way? Why don't we communicate in the same way? Why don't we use all the same website, the same ATS? So this was the first critical transformation, was more of creating a new way of work in our company,
Right.
and the way of work in which everyone knows how to do it in the same way, with a standard process. So the first big deliverable of our transformation was in 2020, right just before COVID. when we did the launch of our new website, our new brand, because we shifted from Grupo Multipessoal to Multipessoal only. So it was basically we understood that the word group didn't make sense anymore, and we shifted from a green color to an orange color. So visually, it was also
Mhm.
a hell of a work for marketing department for the marketing director. So
And
this
there,
was not the
Eduardo,
first rebranding, actually.
just to say, the green color of Multipessoal was because at the beginning of Multipessoal, there was a connection with the bank, and the bank was green, and
Yes.
so yeah,
Right.
and so the change also had effect because the bank was no longer there, and afterwards, yeah, they started to shift. But
So
but just to give a
yes.
small context, Eduardo, just to say, so working in the HR space and being a recruitment company, and knowing the Portuguese market as well as we both know, I've watched along the time over the past 15 years, um, the topic that we are discussing here today is still a word that is mostly uncommon. So you don't see companies like yours and other competitors that you have using employer branding as their strategy. Why do you think that is? And within the scope of development that you are thinking for Clam nowadays,
Mhm.
is employer branding something that you integrate in your communication towards your clients? How does employer branding match your strategy these days?
I think that for us, for our brand, employer branding came as a consequence of all this transformation. It was not something that was thought or written as an initiative to do when we first thought in the transformation plan back in 2019, but it was inevitable. So we understood that creating this new way of work, we were also creating a new brand, a new company, a new vision for the future. And that implies also a strong employer brand, a strong customer brand as well. We can't live without both. And basically, we started giving the making the first steps towards this subject that is so important, because we understood the advantages of doing it, not only for candidates but also for employees. So I
Mhm.
would say that focusing on employees, we started having started to have a lot of initiatives and new benefits, new types of team building. So we comparing, for example, the multips wall that I found and the one that you found, I believe that it's completely different, although I was not
Yeah.
here 30 years ago in this company. But I believe that the culture of the company is a culture that is more projected to the future and to what is the I would say the best practices of the market. Um, then we have the other targets that I was talking about, the candidates, and there we understood that we basically are managing not only our employer brand, but also the employer brand of our clients. Because as you know, as an HR firm, we are constantly recruiting, not for us specifically, but for our clients. So if you go to our website today, you will see hundreds, like 500, 600 every day. There's a different number every hour. There's a different number, but we're talking about hundreds of job offers for candidates to work in our clients and not in our structure side by side with me. So that's an increased responsibility, because we have a lot of job ads that are sent by our clients, but we as HR specialists, as marketing specialists, we have to tell the clients, okay, we have to write this job ad in a different way so that we can be more appealing and we can attract the top talent for your company. So we have this responsibility of consultants to recommend what is the best way to attract talent. And that's all about employer branding.
For
I
sure,
would say.
Eduardo. Let me just catch there, because let's look at the funnel. And so,
Yes,
yeah, you're talking at a specific point of the funnel, and
the
I've had
job
this
ads. Yes.
I've had this discussion with lots of companies, and I feel that most companies fall short when we are talking about this point that you just mentioned, the work of the employer brand of a specific client. Imagine, so for instance, when you are preparing all of that, of course, they send you the job advert. Okay, you suggest changes. From my own personal experience, some are willing to change, other companies are not willing to change, they want to stuck with what they have. So change management, like you said, is not is always tough. But then afterwards you have a specific role, Eduardo, yourselves as recruiters, that I think there is even harder, and that is to the messaging that you guys share throughout the process, and when you're communicating with those candidates, and the messaging that you are sharing about how your client works, what their culture is, how it is, the benefits that it has. So the way you promote that company is super important. And so, as we know here in Portugal, companies like yours, they have hundreds of clients, and so to be super specific on the culture, on the benefits, on everything that is the EVP of your clients, and sharing that the huge responsibility that you guys have, being the first point of contact with those candidates, I think it's super massive. And I would like to hear your thoughts on it. And well, I know that there's room to grow, and for competitors of your company as well. I think this is something that we still need to improve. That's my perspective.
Yeah, no, of course, and I can share a story how marketing in our company started also having their own our own clients. So and it comes from that. So we have several clients, hundreds of clients as well, with hundreds of job offers. But some clients realize that posting a job ad or doing things the way everyone does is not enough. So they reached out to us, and when I say us, is HR and marketing, or recruitment teams and marketing, and tried to almost brainstorming what can we do differently, and they are willing to pay for being different, and that's the main trigger here to make our marketing department a business department nowadays. So what we started doing, and for example, comparing with 2 or 3 years ago, we've been growing in this line of business because we have more and more clients asking for help, because they understand that doing just a job ad on our portal, a job ad on a Portuguese job portal, is not enough. And so I started getting involved in more meetings with clients side by side with our recruitment teams, and we started developing new campaigns and new ways of reaching out to candidates. So this is also something that we didn't proactively share to the market, this service, but the market came to us and asked us for our help. So it was a new way of doing business that was really spontaneous, and we started by offering this service to one client due to the importance the client has to us, and we needed to recruit 500 employees to that company. So we decided to make an investment on ourselves to be more appealing for this campaign. And after that, we started to see other companies interested in this service. And today, I'm not only a marketing director, but I'm also the head of recruitment marketing services because of this. But what I feel is that the Portuguese companies, or sometimes they are not Portuguese companies, but they are multinationals that have a subsidiary in Portugal, they started to realize, and we see now more and more companies providing employer branding services, as you know, because there's demand for that. So if there is demand, there must be offer as well. So that's something that is taking some hours of my week nowadays. Not doing it proactively, going after clients. That's not what I'm doing, because I don't have time right now to do that, because I'm also a marketing director. But there's an opportunity to do that as well if we want.
But Eduardo, now going back just a little bit to the profile of people that you talk to, so your clients,
Yes.
my experience now, and you can comment on it as well. So when we talk, and also coming from the marketing perspective, when we talk about things like, for instance, I understand that markets that evolve differently from ours, for instance, we have little to no exposure to platforms like Indeed. Why do I mention this? Because Indeed works in a way where SEO is really, really important. So when you're designing the job ad, the best ads are the ones that use an SEO structure. But if you go to your normal client, that would be an HR person, and you talk about topics like this one, like mentioning, no, your job ad doesn't work because it doesn't have the structure that
SEO.
it should have, SEO, the number of keywords that it has, what are the keywords? We need to think about keywords. So this normally is like a lunatic conversation with an HR person, because on the other
Yeah.
side, they don't understand what we are saying. And mostly you have two things that might happen. Number one, they trust your expertise and they say, go ahead, do what you think is best, and they move
Yes.
forward. Number two, they really don't understand what you are saying, and they want to keep the way things are done in the past. But I think this is the gap, and this going back to your profile and the way that you also are working to promote knowledge within this type of profile, HR people. Where do you think Portugal fits at the moment? What do you see your clients? Do you see improvement? Do you see evolving? We are evolving. How do you place Portugal in your
The
in your?
story I was talking about, the first client that we had where we offered the service, they didn't have a marketing department, so that's why they reached out to us and asked for help. And what I've been seeing with other clients is that HR departments have goals to meet. They are always recruiting in an urgently manner. So it's all the recruitments are to be done yesterday, not tomorrow. So they feel a lot of pressure to meet their recruitment needs, and marketing departments are mainly focused on selling products or services. So I would say priorities are not aligned most of the times between marketing and HR departments. And that's why HR departments start to see us, Clan, as a supplier with not only HR but also marketing knowledge, where they can delegate, outsource this marketing service focused on recruitment. And that's what we want to do. We don't want to compete with creative agencies to or create new brands to other lines of marketing services. We want to specifically create marketing campaigns to focus on recruitment, and That's our expertise, and we don't want to deviate from that. But going back to what I was saying, the company didn't have a marketing department. I would say that most companies in Portugal, since they are SMEs, they're really small and medium enterprises, they probably don't have marketing departments as well, but they have recruitment needs. And that's why our job is valuable to them. That's why most of the times they reach out to us to help them. But usually the first message they send us is just, okay, I saw your website and I need one person to start working tomorrow. And that's how the relationship starts. Then our goal is to show them that we can do more things together on the long term, because the usually recruitment teams are always focused, when it comes to recruitment, more focused on the short term because they have to fill the vacancies that are open. So we try to open the horizon and talk about employer branding, talk about recruitment marketing, what can we do differently, and use this kind of marketing terms like SEO, landing pages, inbound recruiting, that may be confusing at first, but then they realize its importance. And sometimes what happens is we develop a marketing campaign, and then the HR department sends to their marketing department just to validate. Most of the times, not to involve in the process, because the feeling is that it will take more time if we include another department in the process.
I know what that is. I'm living
The
it
more
now.
people we have working on something, the more it will take.
Yeah,
So
for
what
sure.
HR departments understood is that, okay, I have a new supplier that can do my marketing campaigns, and then I will validate everything regarding brand identity and positioning, etc., with our marketing department. But they will be only in the final stage of approval, and
And then,
not from the
Eduardo,
beginning.
do you also add value to your clients by choosing the right channels, for instance? Do you think about it? Yeah. And do you
Uh,
suggest channels?
Yes, actually, this week we were. I said the client. It was the first thing it came to my mind. I said to the client that we were going to do a Facebook campaign, but then internally with my team, we, considering the budget of the client, considering the profile that the client wanted to recruit, we actually understood that Google Ads was the best option for this specific case. So we do all kinds of things. I would say that the main trigger will be the budget,
Yeah.
and sometimes we invest on Google, on social
But
ads.
going there, Eduardo, don't you ever, I believe you are, faced with the client that has, and this is very national, very Portuguese, that it has to be LinkedIn because aren't they always saying that LinkedIn has to be LinkedIn as a cost on advertising that
It's
is
yeah,
almost
yes.
120% higher than other platforms. So it might not be the right platform for the profiles that we are looking for. So, but normally, from my experience, it's always clients saying we have to be on LinkedIn. Well, and
We
then
have a
we
lot
just,
of our main service, the core of our business is staffing. So we're talking about mainly blue collar workers, and usually they are more associated with Facebook, actually,
yeah.
or Indeed. So LinkedIn would be, it's not so true today, because LinkedIn is also investing. And I met with LinkedIn a few months ago, and they said they were investing a lot in these blue collar workers, to have more blue collar workers with a LinkedIn profile and also more job offers for blue collar workers on LinkedIn. So they are also changing their positioning to include more kinds of professionals. But I can tell that for a specific client, there was a campaign that we did both on LinkedIn and on Facebook. We did on both to test which one was more effective. So when we have the space and the budget to do some experiences, it's always better for us and for our clients. But in this case, for this specific client, LinkedIn was more expensive but more effective
Okay.
due to the type of profile that they wanted, which was not a blue collar worker in this case.
For sure, but that
Yeah,
is the for me that is the main topic, Eduardo, is
yeah,
data. To
yeah.
make
And
decisions based on data.
if you talk with an HR professional about A/B testing, probably they don't know as well what it means.
Yeah.
But that's basically what we try to do with different channels. So sometimes we invest in more than one channel at the same time to understand which one is more effective, and of course comparing the level of investment that we do. But it's interesting because we have all kinds of clients in terms of sectors. We have all kinds of functions, because that's also the purpose of our company. We believe that all jobs matter. So if you go to our website, you will see job offers for C-level or for people that work in
Cleaning
factories,
ladies, cleaning ladies.
cleaning
Yes,
lady,
of course.
everything you can think of, you will find it on our website because that's the way the market works. We need all kind of professionals so that companies can foster, sort of say. So we connect people to work. Basically, that's our motto, and that's what we've been trying to do.
I know, Eduardo, that you have a small presentation there. Do you want to share it? As we
Yes,
are. Yeah.
our time is finishing
Yeah.
probably, but this is exactly what I was saying. We connect people to work, and when we talk about people, we talk about not only candidates but also employees and companies. We have two targets. So it's the B2C segment and the B2B segment, because we provide also solutions for companies that want to recruit, whether it's staffing, outsourcing, or other kinds of recruitment services. And what I've been talking about with you is a bit about recruitment marketing campaigns that we've been doing with clients, and where we can help them most of the times is specifically in the attraction and conversion stages, because after they become employees, they will be every day in our clients' site, in our clients' offices. So we lose a bit of the relationship that we have with the employees.
Mhm.
Although sometimes the contract of the employee is with us, so we partially lose the relationship, but contractually the employee is with us, and what we try to do is to give the best support we can at a distance, basically. So talking about this funnel or this cycle, our vision is that there's a lot of people in the world, but when we do a marketing campaign, we want to have a specific target and identify very well what is the candidate. And we can also include another marketing term in this case, which is the persona. So we have to identify very well what are the candidate personas. Doing that, we can easily attract them to become visitors of our job ads, of our landing pages, career pages, whatsoever. And we can work on the second stage, the conversion, so that visitors give their data and create leads, so that our team can start working on those leads and read the CV and understand if the candidate is feasible or not for that job offer. And then we have the close, the third stage, the closing stage, which is the typical interview, the assessment. Um, and what I was saying is that the nurture stage, the fourth stage, is more dependent on what our clients offer. And how they create this relationship with their employees so that they can become ambassadors and advocate what the company has to offer, bringing new people on board. So, of course, we have also some tools that we can share with our clients, specifically regarding referral programs, member get member programs, or even the production of testimonials, for example. But we the kind of services that we've been doing are more focused on the attraction and conversion stages, which is obvious because they put they put on our job portal their ads. So from that moment, we have the responsibility to attract people to that job ad and convert them into candidates. Okay.
Just to close out, Barbara, in just a few minutes, just one more question is we have some hot topics that are coming out in this specific area. One of them is how you guys approach what is going to be a reality soon, that is salary transparency. I don't know how you guys are working with your clients in regards to salary transparency and what your thoughts are, and if you have any information on how that affects the perception of the employer brand of your clients. Is it important to have the salary in the job offers?
Yes, I believe it's important so that we can reduce the time between the searching and the matching, I would say. So in our job portal, and I will stop sharing the screen to focus on you again. But on our job portal, there are already lots of job offers with the salary and the specific salary that the person will earn, not an interval, but the number exactly. So we are already one step ahead in that sense. But of course, we need to be more transparent for all job offers. And what we want to do, and we are preparing, is to have a new filter on our job portal with the different intervals. There are already a lot of job portals that have that filter. So we are going to do the same because it will be mandatory, basically.
In 2026, yeah, 2026,
Exactly.
it's
So
mandatory.
if it's mandatory, we have to do it, and we have to also to talk to all the clients that still don't share or don't want to share in a first stage the salary. We have to define what are the best intervals considering the type of job offers that we have, because as I told you, we have all kinds of job offers on our job portal. So I believe that the main challenge is to define what are the intervals that make sense to show. But we are doing that as well. Yeah.
Perfect, Eduardo. Thank you so much. I know from experience that marketing helps a lot because marketing has, during the years that it exists, it shows that we know that it takes 7 different views for someone to buy something. And in recruitment marketing is exactly the same. So you need to look at an employer 7 times before you apply to a specific job. So very similar things with marketing of products, marketing of
Yes.
job efforts. So it's really, for me, as you know, I really enjoy this topic. Recruitment marketing is something that really thrills me. And I'm very glad that we have you here in Portugal as well, and that you are bringing forward new types of new ways that will assist our companies in bringing forward new ways of recruitment. Thank you,
Thank,
Barbara.
Thank you, Miguel. I would just say that all the studies that we've seen on employer branding, all the reports also show that candidates do evaluate a job ad or a company based also on their employer brand or the perception that they have. So, like around 75% of candidates consider the employer brand before applying. So that's why we've been doing this. That's why we've been making sure that this is not only a hot topic, employer branding, but also a topic that will stay probably forever, because we always need to attract talent and to retain or nurture talent. This will always be a challenge. And if you go to HR conferences in Portugal today or in the last 10 years, the subject is always the same, is the challenge of attracting people.
Yeah.
Maybe in 10 years' time, it will be the same. What are the challenges of recruiting?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Thank you very much for this beautiful story. I
You're
was just,
welcome.
listening to Mika took the stage of the house. That's great. That's wonderful. And we will, keep up and keep an eye on what you're doing, guys. So there will be, if you have any materials to share under the episodes, just we'll post it. If you have more questions to Eduardo and what they're doing in Portuguese market, just reach Eduardo via LinkedIn probably. Yeah, that's
Yes.
that's the
Mhm.
best way, the quickest way. And congratulations. I'm proud of you. I've seen a small EBstars award logo on the side, so
Yes,
great.
there was. We have
Yeah,
more than we have more awards, fortunately. So there, it's in between two
yeah, sure.
awards.
That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
That's great. That's good
But it's
company.
here. It's here.
Yeah, is there? I've seen it. So thank you for that, and happy to host you. Thank you, Mikael, for being such a wonderful host. We have to do it more often.
For sure.
And
Yeah, it was easy to make conversation. So thank you also, Miguel, for all the questions that helped me flow with the conversation.
yeah. So thank you very much for today, and see you in the next episode.
Thank you very much.